It doesn't take a whole lot of money to build wealth. What it takes is discipline, consistency, and time. I don't care what your favorite YouTuber is telling you. It takes time to build wealth. Find the YouTuber that you're comfortable with. The one that you say, okay, that makes perfect sense. I understand that person. I can relate to what they're saying. That's the person you want to follow. That's the person you want to listen to. The person that you know in your heart of hearts is saying the right thing, not trying to sell you a bunch of wolf tickets. And it's your job to discern who to follow and who not to follow. If you don't know Forex, don't be putting your money in Forex. If you don't know gold and silver, don't put your money in gold and silver. If you don't know crypto, don't put your money in crypto. Listen, you may be doing too much when it comes to money. We need to stop overcomplicating this whole money and wealth building process. Now, the reason I wanted to do this video is because I recently had a one-on-one conversation with somebody. And in that one-on-one conversation, the person was about 55 years old or so. And they didn't know a whole lot about some of the things they were asking about. They were just asking general questions about a bunch of different things, right? And they really were just doing way too much to try to reach their goal, right? They had questions about, we talked about Forex, we talked about cryptocurrencies. We talked about silver as an investment. They brought up other commodities, specific commodities that they wanted to talk about and get information about. They also wanted to have information about day trading and also trading on margins. And it was like they didn't have a whole bunch of knowledge about any of this stuff, but they wanted as much information about all different types of things. And the bottom line was their goal was just to build wealth. And so I'm like, okay, slow down. They were just making the thing so complicated. Typically, people know a little bit about a lot of different things, but when it comes to really mastering money and understanding wealth and building wealth, you only need to know a lot about a few things. You don't have to know a little bit about a whole bunch of stuff. That's just overcomplicating the process, right? When it comes to wealth building, you got to have a lot of knowledge about a few things. So I wanted to have this conversation about why people complicate wealth building and complicate money making. I want you to, throughout this video, guys, I want you to let me know in the comments if you can relate to any of the things that I'm going to talk about in this quick video. First, let me just say this. There's just so much information at our fingertips. Podcasts, YouTube channels, the internet, different social media platforms. There's so much information, and people get stuck taking in all this information and trying to execute on a lot of different things, right? So you have people trying to, time the market, pick the perfect stocks, find the magic investment, listen to certain podcasts, and all of a sudden have an epiphany and want to try something new that they heard about. And people end up being really paralyzed by too much information. People get analysis by paralysis, right? People get overwhelmed by so much stuff coming at them from all different angles and directions. And people tend to ultimately invest in too many things, right? Trying to chase every single little trend that's out there. Remember a few years ago, it was NFTs, right? And virtual art. And there's obviously out there still today, cryptocurrency. Nothing wrong with crypto, but people are trying to chase this thing, right? Meme stocks. Some people are chasing real estate. Some people are chasing startups. And some people are trying to chase them all, right? And when you're trying to chase all these different things, you end up not really getting anything. You have to remember, guys, that the more you do when it comes to investing does not equate to more money. And the more you do when it comes to wealth building does not equate to you being somehow smarter or outsmarting the rest of the pack just because you're doing a lot of different things with money or trying to do a lot of different things with money, right? So with money, it's not about how many different things you're trying to invest in and learn about. It's just in simplicity. Simplicity is the key to building wealth. Listen, for me, I stick with proven wealth builders. Proven. Index funds, ETFs, real estate. Now, if I can understand those things incredibly thoroughly, I'm going to be just fine over the long stretch of time. Now, another thing that makes this thing too complicated or more complicated than it has to be for a lot of people is the fact that a lot of people nowadays, they're trying to get rich quick. I mean, let's just keep it real, right? People are trying to get rich fast. They want to get rich fast. And if there's a formula that looks like they can get there quicker than most people or faster than it takes to actually do the work, people are going to be going forward. But listen, wealth building is a marathon. It's not a sprint to the finish. Chasing the next big thing or trying to double your money in a month, it really, and I mean truly, does not work like that. All that's going to do is lead to stress, anxiety, frustration, anger, and all different types of emotions you don't want to get into. Listen, I don't care what your favorite YouTuber is telling you. It takes time to build wealth. A lot of people, they don't stick to a plan. They just jump from one thing or one strategy to the next strategy to the next strategy, and they don't have the patience to hang in there with the one strategy that was the right strategy, but they left it alone because it didn't yield results in 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years. So they say, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm gonna do something else. Right? Today, it can't be day trading today and then flipping houses tomorrow and then Forex the next day and then you're over in gold the following week. You can't do that. All of that just kills your momentum. Now listen, I'm not telling you don't diversify. You need to diversify. Don't have all your money in gold. Don't have all your money in crypto, right? You need to diversify. But diversify in 2 or 3 things, not 4 or 5 or 6 things. Wealth grows with time, discipline, and consistency. Don't focus on too many different goals. This is another thing that hurts a lot of people. And this is what hurt the person I was talking about. They had goals in every area that they were looking into. They had a goal for this and a goal for that and a goal for that. It's like when you have too many goals, nothing's going to get accomplished. You're overcomplicating your life and you're overcomplicating the whole wealth building process. For a lot of you watching this video right now, you just got too much going on at one time. If that's you, let me know in the comments below. Hey, I have a lot going on. I got a lot of different goals. Let me know in the comments below. But I'm telling you now, if you're trying to focus on too many things at once, nothing's going to get accomplished. Simplify this thing by simply focusing on 1 or 2 goals at a time. And speaking of complications, you don't have to complicate a budget. Now, a budget is a real simple thing to do, and it doesn't have to be a complicated budget. The person I was talking to, the 55-year-old person, we went over their budget together, and the budget was something that it's like it had algorithms attached to the budget. Listen, the budget doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it simple. You don't have to have a budget when you budget your money every single month. You don't have to have a budget with 30 different categories deep, and you don't have to have a masterful color coded with emojis all over the place and different. It doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be some incredible app that you use that is all encompassing and comprehensive and tracks this and puts that in this category and figures out the ratios of. It doesn't have to be that way. You shouldn't have to be an engineer to understand a person's budget when you look at it. It should be cut and dry. Income, expenses. That's it. You could do that on a napkin. It doesn't have to have formulas all attached to it either. It can be simple, right? I don't use an app for my budget. Now, there's some good apps out there, don't get me wrong. Some really good ones. But I've never used an app for a budget. Not for me personally, not at this point. Now, down the road I may, but right now, I've never used an app. I just use a calculator and a pencil and pen, or I use a spreadsheet that has no formulas on it, just a basic Excel spreadsheet or Google spreadsheet, no formulas. The only thing I need is addition and subtraction. That's it. Simple. Don't overthink money. Don't overthink building wealth. And certainly don't overthink your budget. Totally not necessary. Now, the other thing people do is simply this. They kind of overlook the small things. They sort of ignore the power of some really small steps that it takes to build wealth or get to where you want to go financially. Like your money can be a lot like sports. Like take the sport of baseball, right? In baseball, what is the fundamentals? The fundamentals of baseball is what? Fielding the ball, defense, right? Catching and fielding, pitching the ball, and hitting the ball. The basics, right? If you can be better than everybody else at the basics, your team is going to do well. Your team is going to do very well. You're going to win a whole lot of games, right? That's just the basics. The money is the exact same way. If you just do the basics really, really well, you got this thing down. The little bitty fundamentals add up over time, right? People think you need a whole lot of money to start investing. I got to have a whole bunch of money. I got $1,000 before I invest. No, you can invest your money with $50 a week, $50 a month, right? It doesn't take a whole lot of money to build wealth. What it takes is discipline, consistency, and time. Simple, boring stuff. Baseball, hitting, pitching, catching, and fielding the ball. That's it. The basics. Name your sport. If you do the basics well, you're going to be fine. The fundamentals, right? Money's the same way. Stop watching and paying attention to every single guru on YouTube that you see. And I'm a person on YouTube. This is YouTube telling you you don't have to watch every single YouTube person and follow every YouTube advice that's going to take you in a whole bunch of different ways. Find the YouTuber that you're comfortable with. The one that you say, okay, that makes perfect sense. I understand that person. I can relate to what they're saying. That's the person you want to follow. That's the person you want to listen to. The person that you know in your heart of hearts is saying the right thing, not trying to sell you a bunch of wolf tickets. I'm just saying the person that's only after your money and trying to frighten you and scare you into watching their videos and then giving you information that sends you off into all different directions. Now, that's your job to make sure you're not going in all these different directions, right? And it's your job to discern who to follow and who not to follow, right? Because every person on YouTube, every expert on YouTube or person that claims to be an expert, all of them have different strategies. And if you're watching too many of them, you're getting a whole bunch of, you need to be formulating your own philosophy about money and coming up with your own strategy that works with you and your risk tolerance and what you feel comfortable doing and your knowledge base and information that you know that you have and you've gathered over the years. You need to tailor all the things that coming into you from all these different YouTubers into your plan, right? You take your few trustworthy YouTubers and figure out what they do and how it works with what you do and your core beliefs and what your philosophy is with money, and then you tailor your own plan and stick with it. And then, of course, when it comes to wealth and investing, invest in what you know, right? Don't invest in something that you have no clue. If you don't know Forex, don't be putting your money in Forex. If you don't know gold and silver, don't put your money in gold and silver. If you don't know crypto, don't put your money in crypto unless you learn these things at a really granular level so you understand them. But don't chase shiny objects for fast returns and trying to get rich quick. And then, of course, in terms of wealth building, like I explained to my 55-year-old one-on-one person that I had a conversation with, make sure that you automate your investing, your savings or your investments. Automate them so it's fast and it's quick and you don't have to sit and think about it all day, every day, right? And focus on what I would call high impact habits and high impact principles of wealth building. It's all principles, okay? If you follow the principles, you're good, right? But just be consistent with what you're doing. The basics, the basic principles, right? Avoiding the bad debt. Investing as early as possible and as much as possible. Staying focused on 2 or 3 investments as opposed to 5 or 6 different investments. Getting to know those 2 or 3 investments thoroughly and well instead of trying to dibble and dabble in a whole bunch of stuff. Keep your goals clear. Keep your goals focused. Keep your mind set in a certain direction. Make sure you diversify, but don't get crazy with diversification. You don't need 10 different streams of income. Although you hear people say, I have 9, I have 50, I have 20 different streams. You don't need all those streams of income. A good 3, 4, 5 streams of income is cool for most people. Straight. You're good, right? Pick 1 or 2 financial goals at a time. Stay focused on them. Get them done. And obviously, you want to keep ignoring the noise that's out here. Don't get caught up in social media all day, every day. And next thing you know, you're looking at a highlight reel of everybody's greatest moments. And you think your moment and your day and your money is worse or less than other people. Don't get caught up in that, right? The economy is going to fluctuate. The stock market is going to fluctuate. The GDP is going to fluctuate. The breaking news on all the different news stations is going to fluctuate. All this noise out here, there's going to be certain trends that you see on social media. Look, don't panic. Don't sell. Relax. Break yourself away from the noise a little bit. Take a walk. Do something to relieve your stress. And don't get caught up thinking that you got to do more than you have to do. Don't overcomplicate this thing. Live below your means. Leave the emotions somewhere else when you're talking about building wealth. Be logical, not emotional, and stay consistent even when it's boring. Even when it feels boring. Even when it feels like you're not doing a whole lot or you should be doing more. You're probably doing enough right now. You just need to be patient. Wealth building isn't about being flashy or doing 10 and 20 different things at one time. It's about being focused, disciplined, consistent. Look, when you avoid trying to do too much, you'll be shocked at the amount of wealth that you can accumulate over time. Hey, if you need one-on-one help with your money, some coaching, some mentoring, or you just need some help with a major financial decision, please click on the first link below in the description box of this video. Because hey, personal finance is personal. If you got value out of this video, do me a favor, smash that like button below, drop a comment for me as well, and share this video with someone who you think could use this information. Remember guys, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate the wealth building process. Listen, the best person who's going to take care of that old you is the young you. Guys, take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.